players. It is currently a 3-0 deficit for Karnage eSports, and their final player out here today will be the Red Zerg player down to the south west corner of the map, Namshar. Up to him to pull this back. 4 wins in a row will be needed against the Team Liquid boys, who have been almost unstoppable this season, apart from when they played against Dignitas Dead Pixels. What is Team Liquid's map score right now? It must be insanely huge, right? Like, it's actually only plus 12. I guess with 6 matches played, plus 12. If it was all 4 rows, what would it be? 20, 16. So yeah, it's still a pretty good one. It's like they're dropping on average like what, like a map a series outside of the outside of when they got all killed. It's a pretty impressive score. So anyways, we're getting into this next game, and we have not yet introduced our blue Zerg player to the top left hand side of the map. Looking for an all kill here. It is going to be Liquid Snute. Can he secure himself an all kill, or can he not? We shall see very shortly, as it is ZVZ on Iron Fortress. We saw Snute's ZVZ already once today and looked pretty good against Wacker. It'll be interesting to see how he goes about this game. The second ZVZ of the day. He's played a couple of ZVPs now, and honestly I thought he was down and out for the count in that last game against Strinton, but just managed to hang in there and made it happen. So yeah, not really. I guess just a spawn pool coming down for both players right now. Gas came down before the pool once again here for Snute, so very similar to how he did it previously when he was playing against Wacker back in game number 1 on Coda. So similar build so far from Snute. Of course, guys, this is not our only match today, so even if this is a 4, there's a lot more StarCraft action coming your way here on the SCT Improved stream. We will have at well, this match is going quite fast, so our original plan scheduling might be well, our original scheduling will stand, but there might be a few breaks and stuff. We'll put on a couple of matches from rebroadcast, maybe something along along those lines to fill in the time. Because at 9 PM CEST we have Baguette taking on Team Red Bloods, a battle from Group A of the competition, in which we'll see whether Baguette can continue to contend for the #1 spot in Group A against Axiom Mesa. And of course we do also have very much later on tonight, we have 2 teams battling to get 3rd or 4th in the playoffs, or even into the playoffs at all. I think it's My Insanity versus Root Gaming, 2 teams who have lost a lot more this season than they maybe should have already, and who really have to bring their A game tonight if they want to actually have a chance at making the playoffs. I think for both I think for My Insanity, if they lose against Root, there's still a chance they can make it through. But if Root lose, that's it. Their playoff hopes are over and they are out of the SCTITL Season 4. And that would not be how we expect Root to go out before the playoffs. Go Namshar says Strinton, who is apparently not biased in this call. Again doing a very similar thing to what he was doing in game 1. He's clearing out this initial overlord so that his initial Zerglings can't be seen, and just going to be going for that Bane Nest to follow up his Zergling speed, which is exactly what Namshar is doing as well right now, only he has gone for the gas after his pool. So his spawn metabolic boost is a little bit slower, his Bane Nest is a little bit slower, but it still should be just about in time for him to it should just be about in time for him to you know, be able to defend here. He's actually making 6 more drones though, despite seeing these Zerglings coming forwards with this Overlord. As this Overlord finally does go down. Snute missing a lot of injects for this though, so you know the follow-up push is not going to be that strong from him, as Namshar is morphing in a lot of the Banelings on the high ground here for himself, and a few Zerglings starting to move forwards from Snute, so Namshar already going to have to start reacting to this. He's starting to pull his drones and a couple of things up to the high ground here. That one Queen on this Natural is still going to stay alive, and oh, the Banelings starting to come in now. And it looks as though Namshar going to turn this around pretty easily. A couple of drones lost, but the work counts will remain even overall here. So taking a slight lead and a big wave of drones coming in from Namshar now. One big difference is that, again, Snute did miss a couple of his injects here because he was chasing down Overlords with his Queens. So that's a little bit of extra production which Namshar does have available to him. A couple of extra lava most likely. And there's a couple of Banelings here. Going to be something he should be able to deal with. Oh no! Okay, this is actually gone okay then for Namshar in the end. He's actually traded very well against these Banelings of Snute, and because of that, we'll be able to drop his 3rd base here. So 3rd base on the way already for Namshar. Snute starts to take 2 more gases, taking up to 3 in total. I'm not completely sure where exactly he's going to be heading for just yet, as drones come into, Zerglings coming towards the main base here. They do get a Queen kill, and maybe a couple of drones going down. Only one so far, if any. The Baneling Morph in here will get taken down as well. So Namshar cleans that up pretty easily. There's a big chunk of Baneling minerals here for Snute. Again, a couple of Banelings don't really achieve anything for him. And he's just starting up a Roach One and an Evolution Chamber, so on 3 gas is kind of what we were expecting, I suppose. Is a couple more Banelings, pick up a few more Zerglings in the middle of the map, and Namshar just moving across. Equal work count right now as both players go back into droning. Namshar, the real difference for him is the real advantage he's got is he does have +1 attack already started, so he's actually going to have a bit of a lead here. In both his +1 attack timing and his third base timing. His third base ahead of Snute's right now, so small differences between these two guys, but it is Namshar who is ever so slightly ahead at this point of the game. But a lead which is, not so significant that you're like, well, okay, this is just going to snowball and then, end for Snute. It's definitely, nowhere near that sort of stage. It's just slight disadvantages / slight advantages depending on which side you're looking from. Alright, so moving forward, we've got a bunch of lings, and on both sides of the map, actually, from Namshar, a couple of Balins over to this left-hand side. Something being killed off by a Zergling there. Probably was just another Zergling. This kind of continued Zergling aggression is kind of interesting from Namshar, considering he's got roaches on the way. It's going to be interesting to see how this goes. Snute pulling away and trying to limit the number of hits he takes on these lings with the Banelings, as these Banelings grab a couple more. Then will he be able to get this third base? I don't really think so, although maybe with a few more lings coming forwards here. A couple of Banelings coming in as well. He's going to be able to shut down 2 of these Banelings of Snute, and Snute has 1 Baneling left. I think Namshar is just going to take the hit, and he's going to be able to take down this third hatchery. It's going to fall here. And Snute has to cancel that. His third hatch going to be delayed for a little while longer right now, as these lings will get out through the top side of the map. Namshar took an opportunity to drone up a little bit behind this as well, and now holds a worker lead of 7 workers, as well as that +2 missile attack starting. So his upgrade lead continues here as well. This is going really well so far for Namshar. He is not letting Snute just run away with an all kill. No way. He's going to fight for this, and as he should. Snute moving through the middle of the map, a few roaches here and there, but can't really afford to get aggressive. He doesn't have roach speed just yet. He probably doesn't know quite exactly the timing of the roach speed of his opponent, so that's something he's got to be very cautious about. He can't just be rushing into a fight, which if he needs to disengage from, he might not be able to. So he's not going to really be too aggressive with these right now. Just falls back and waits for his upgrades as well. I imagine he's just going to start at +2, and there isn't a timing he's going to be able to hit with +1, so +2 should be starting up here for Snute. Doesn't quite have that gas just yet though, as his third hatchery still just on the way, and yeah, there's that +2 starting. Namshar just building up roaches of his own right now. Army supply count is in favour of Snute, and well, for how long though? Namshar is starting to build up a ton of roaches himself. He just started up 16 in the production tab, so if 16 roaches join the field, that's actually going to push Namshar into the army advantage here. And again, he could just go for a timing with +2 attack, and it might just be as simple as that. Attack into your opponent when you've got the upgrade advantage. Road speed will be finished, so the move across the map will be pretty quick, and there's almost no reason for Namshar not to kind of move across the map here and try and see if he can get something done when +2 finishes. The only kind of real negative thing would be if a run by came in and did some major damage on his third base, but that's something he's could maybe just deal with reinforcements, or he could just kind of say, well, you're just not going to do that anyways. So let's see what happens. Snute will have the defender's advantage. He'll be able to sit in a concave. He'll be able to sit on top of ramps, and he will have closer reinforcements, but that will be negated potentially by the +2 advantage of Namshar, who is starting to move across the map. Snute's about to see this here, and both of these guys are getting ready to go. A couple of, well, a single creep unit gets cleaned up here. Some more can be cleaned up as well, though. Snute getting in position on top of the ramp here at his third base. Namshar's going to come down this other side, though, and all of a sudden, Snute doesn't really have a defender's advantage in terms of the concave anymore, and, well, Namshar's just going to close the distance very, very quickly here, and this is just going to be a straight-up roach roll. Snute dropping as many transfuses as he can, and then extra couple of transfuses might very well be making a difference right now, as Namshar is going to get pushed back, has to fall back to reinforcements. Will use this high ground here to get himself a bit of a better concave and stop Snute from actually chasing these units down. And Namshar not able to make anything happen with the +2 advantage just yet. Another creep unit gets taken down here. Another roach moving a little bit too far forward. Roach counts are equal, but of course Snute's roaches will be coming in from a shorter distance from these hatcheries, which are so close to his army right now. And it looks as though Namshar is going to have to back out of here and probably can't get too much done now. What can he maybe start to do back at home to kind of you know, get ahead then in this game to push the advantage which he does have, which is kind of the map control. Start teching. You know, Snoot's kind of scared right now. He's like, right, okay, I need to just make units because he's on my front doorstep. I need to hold on. And Namshar, he should just tech up behind this. He's already getting burrow. He's getting a 4th base. Another thing which could be very nice is maybe start transitioning in towards a Hydralisk then. And in fact, we see that being dropped for him here. So Namshar, he didn't really achieve too much with this fight, but he definitely didn't throw away his advantage, and he continues to push his advantage back at home in different ways now. It used to be the upgrade advantage. Now it's going to be faster Hydralisks. Burrow as well, so you can heal up his roaches a little bit sooner. So little things which Namshar will continue to take a lead in, as Snute does have his own Hydro Den on the way. Namshar with a few more drones. Right now we'll be building up a bit of a faster bank, but we'll trade slightly worse in the battles due to the kind of lower roach count he will have. Of course, it will of course come down to positioning here as well, as roaches continue to join up to see where they're going to go. And moving forwards, these roaches, what are they going to get up to? Again, I mean, I'd be surprised if he really got aggressive right now when he's teching up into the Hydralisks, and you know, he's got a 4th base on the way. He sees no 4th base for Snute. He's got an Overseer in position here. He's got an Overlord over here, which are the 2 4th bases which Snute would be taking. So, yeah, he's got nothing to rush into. Now, Snute is Spore Crawler tricking to get up to a pretty high supply, higher than 200. And there's the cancel coming in, so just 206 out of 200, not that large. We get him a few extra Hydralisks out, which is something which Namshar doesn't really have just yet. He's investing a lot of side defense at home. Is Namshar going to try and attack into this? He's got +1 Carapace in this army right now, which is something Snute doesn't have. And he's got a few roaches at the back which just aren't fighting, which he really needs to deal with. He needed to trade here because he needed to get some Hydras into his own army, which is what I feel he was trying to do. Just trade off a little bit. You know, it wasn't the best fight for him, but it wasn't the worst. And he traded a little bit at the front, and now he's got Hydras coming up himself. Snute will move across the map, and he'll look to try and get something done here. Namshar will hit a supply bot because of the earlier Hydras from Snute able to clean up some of these overlords. Now that he's finally broken out of his kind of soft contain that Namshar had on him. I mean, he wasn't really contained, but he was scared to move out simply because of the threat of Namshar's army, knowing that he was perhaps a little bit behind. So moving forwards, these roaches are going to continue to push across, but with Hydras joining into the army now of Namshar and static defense all over the place, I struggle to see that Snute can really come into this. Oh, he unburrows here into this army, and Snute actually gets a few shots off for free. The Spine Crawler is going to become a part of this fight now, and that was a little bit of a mistake there by Namshar, unburrowing when the army was next to him. Maybe just a little bit panicked about what was going on, and then he moved commanded around a bit. Snute now is starting to take an advantage. He's starting up a hive, he's starting up hatching glands as well, so he's actually starting Baneling speed also, so he's continuing to build up the potential in his army. He's going to have a huge amount of Banelings, which are going to do a great job cleaning up the roach hive of his opponent. He's going to continue his upgrades with that hive, and that's something which Namshar's not really considered yet. He's only just now getting his infestation pit up here, so it's not going to be ready for another 3 minutes or so, but when it is, it's going to be an upgrade advantage once again for Snute. Well, for the first time in this game actually for Snute, not once again. These roaches and hiders just clean up a couple of these cube tumors which are out on the map, and I'm just going to move over here, and they do see a 4th base on the way up, so that's something which will get cancelled now. Snute not able to hold that, not in position to, and Namshar again exercising his map control. And again, he's had this 4th base up and running for himself for quite some time. He's had a few more drones than Snute throughout the game, which is why his bank is slightly larger. Just has to be very careful about taking the fight here, but here we go. Actually going to see an engagement. These Balins starting to move forwards, and they're looking to try and connect with these Hydralisks, as Namshar is forced to spread out quite significantly here, and he's actually going to start this retreating here, but the Balins pick up a few extra free hits, and Namshar's supply has just plummeted, and Snute going to push through the middle now. A lot more Hydras, a lot more roaches being made. Namshar will quite easily be able to remax here. He's going into some investors, which is exactly what you need to deal with these Balins, which is what Snute is going for now. And Snute is actually maybe going to be able to claim this 4th base of his opponent here. And as a single Balin moves forward, he will just use on the Spine Crawlers, still connected with a few drones as well. There's a few units left over here, and actually, I don't know if Snute might want to send a little bit more up there. It looks as though he's just waiting for his opponent to come out and challenge him, though. Challenge that position on this 4th base. And as these drones continue to fall, Namshar still has a lot of money, which he can spend if he's got lava to spend, and he does have lava to spend, so he's just not using it just yet. As this 4th base is going to go down here, so Snute returned the favour from a few moments ago where he lost his 4th base. Now he'll retreat out of this. Next time a fight occurs though, Namshar will have some infestors, but so will Snute. He's been building these up back at home himself, and as we hit the 20-minute mark, both of these guys are getting into their real late game armies here, and their late game tech as well. No hive though for Namshar, and that is potentially one big disadvantage here, because again that +3 attack upgrade is coming in for Snute, and in 3 minutes time that's going to kick in, and that's going to be an advantage which Namshar is going to be a long way away from equaling up here. So moving forward, we'll see what Namshar maybe wants to try and do. But there's a few roaches. Again, it looks as though you might just move over towards this 4th base, and this 4th base is proving to be something very hard to hold here on this map. Snute might have to start moving over there right now, as Namshar, well, he should probably just do what Snute did, right, where he just sends a handful of roaches up, starts engaging, and just seeing what he can do. But oh no! Big pick off here by Snute. He captures a couple of the infestors rallying across the map from Namshar. He's continuing to move forward here, but that's a very clumped up army. The fungal growth that hits the front is pretty huge, and again, looks as though Snute is actually a little bit out of position right now, and the split's going to have to come in from Namshar too, as these fungal growth wars pretty significant. Again, well, I was saying again because it was actually another investor for Namshar out in the middle of nowhere getting caught off. He has split some units away. He will take down this 4th base now, and since having to cancel a few units, he was trying to walk in over here, and Namshar will pull these units down. And again, here's Snute, who is kind of trapped onto these 3 bases. He's added Vipers into the composition now as well. It's +3 attack halfway done, and these Vipers, of course, going to be mostly used for the blinding clouds, hit on the army and force Namshar to kind of move forwards into his opponent when he might not want to, or at least move back and disengage. So it's kind of a useful tool for Snute to dictate when battles will take place and where they're going to be taking place. Here's Roach Hider moving forwards a little bit, baits out of fungal growth, which is nice, you know, even if there's just a little bit of energy, baiting that out is really great here. As Namshar's going to disengage, he's going to turn around, he's going to start fighting, the blinding cloud's coming down, force Namshar to retreat, and he'll take a lot of 3 damage in this. He gets caught in the fungal growth though, so now he actually realizes he maybe has to come in himself. Neither player really in the best of positions to fight in. The fungal growth's locking some of these units in blinding clouds though, is pretty huge, as Snute will push this back, and Namshar didn't really take a bad fight there. What's resources lost like? Namshar's a little bit behind. He was ahead on workers for quite a lot of the game though. He does have a 4th base up right now. He sees this base coming up from Snute, and again that's another base which is fairly easy to take down if you can just move up here with a few units, get position on this high ground. Snute cannot attack up there into it. We saw the power of the fungal growth blinding cloud combination in that fight though. You know, once you get locked down in them blinding clouds, if you can't get out of them, it can be very, very difficult to well, you can be very difficult. You can lose a lot very quickly. Snute does now have +3 missiles. He does have +3 carapace on the way as well. So he's continuing with his upgrades which Namshar is only just now really going to be starting in production altogether. With his high finishing, he's going to be a long way away. Again, it's about a 3-minute timer on those, 220 seconds. So in 3 minutes time he'll have free, but until then maybe he just wants to sit back and chill out a little bit. He's adding on Vipers of his own, so he too can have some power in terms of dictating where exactly engagements happen and shutting down his opponent's vision as well with a couple of his fungal growths. If he had a couple of blind clouds last time, he had some huge fungal growths. If he was able to take down some of if he was able to hit some blinding clouds on top of the fungal growths, he would have been in a pretty nice spot. His Viper's coming in now, but Snute looking as though he's going to be ready to fight here in just a couple of moments. So he's going to have to make sure to rush out these Vipers pretty quickly. Snute already sending units up to take down this 4th base again. And this consistent trading off the 4th bases appears to continue. There's a few brooches just broke right now for Namshar and burrows them. Again, Snute just peeling away and just leaving a few runes over here to deal with this. As Namshar needs to decide how he wants to go about this. We see Vipers consuming from somewhere, and they're taking it out of the bin nest right now. So Namshar's taking so many losses here in his drone number. He's lost 13 drones before finally pulling these away, and Snoop's sitting in a pretty soft containment. We've got this base coming up here now though, and so we're literally seeing 2 bases from these guys right next to each other, and Namshar just going to try and establish this. Snute doesn't see it though, so I mean he could move up there quite easily and take that down. He just doesn't quite see it, not even with this overlord, so slight mistake there by Snute as this 4th base is going to be taken down, and the necessity for a new one begins to be seen. A few more infestors, a lot more infestors actually for Namshar than there is for Snute, so that maybe could make a bit of a difference in this. Namshar is ahead because he's on lower worker count now. He is ahead in army supply, but that means he will take a slightly worse and he will have slightly less bank to remax on, so you can see Snoot's on 4.2k, 2k against just 2.2k, 1.5k. If you infest, oh no, the Hydras move too far forwards, they're not meant to be there at all. And all of a sudden, Namshar loses a bunch of Hydras, and that's going to be Snoot's move to move forwards here apparently. The fungal growths are going to come down though, and the blinding clouds are huge on both sides. We actually have an army right now from Namshar which just cannot attack at all. He's finally going to start moving forwards in towards his opponent's army. Huge fungal growths are coming down from Namshar as well though. this is just a complete zone where neither player can really attack. And it looks as though, well, Snoot's already been remaxing. He has that larger bank though, and that's the real issue here. Although Namshar will give chase to some of these units, and he's going to catch an infestor here at least. And that's maybe the big difference now. Namshar kept a lot of his infestors alive, whereas Snute, he lost all of everything basically. And Namshar, I think, realizing though he took a fight there, which he can't really afford to. He needs some more drones, and he is starting to make them. He can't really move forward to the fight right now. His infestors are very low on energy, and that is the one advantage he does have over Snoot's army at this point in time. Snoot's army mostly just roaches at this point. Up at 186 supply, still got a lot of gas, a lot of minerals to add on whatever else he wishes. Whereas Namshar is really, really tight for money. He needs those extra drones, he needs them mining as soon as possible. He actually has a base all the way over to this right hand side, and if Snute doesn't scout for that, that could be quite interesting to see if that plays a major part in this game. As without fungal growths, nice, that's so many Hydras though for Namshar. 33 Hydras, that's like a lot of DPS against a very tanky army of his opponent here. Snute moving forwards, and it's going to be Namshar who has to sit defensively here and pick the engagements. Blinding Clouds aren't going to be as effective this time from Snute, remember, because he doesn't have Fungal Growth to combo them with. And here we go, coming forwards. Snute going to get hit in the Blinding Clouds, and well, the Blinding Clouds for Namshar helping out a little bit here, but Snoot's just starting to push through. There's not enough tanking. There's nothing to tank here for these Hydras. All of these Roaches, they're just going to kind of breeze through this army, and it looks as though Snute might have just about done it. In a 30-minute ZVZ here, another Fungal Growth comes down, but all of the infestors are dying, and it looks as though Namshar will fall, and Snute will complete his all kill here today in the SHITL, and that will qualify Team Liquid into the playoffs for the 4th season of the Team League here. And Snute cleans up the last few roaches. This is their ticket to the playoffs, and now their last couple of matches will be all about positioning and seeing where exactly they're going to finish in this group. A few roaches over here from Namshar, not doing anything.